NFL says they will work with the players on social justice issues, but they also decided there will not be a mandate requiring players stand during the national anthem. Yesterday, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell held a news conference addressing the meeting that took place between the players and a number of the owners. Donald Trump wasn't happy. He tweeted, "The NFL has decided it will not force players to stand for the playing of our national anthem. Total disrespect for our great country," says the guy who disrespects our troops. At his news conference, Goodell reiterated his belief that players should stand for the national anthem, and that he will continue to encourage players to do so.
I understand where our fans feel about this issue, and we feel the same way about the importance of our flag, about the importance of patriotism, and I believe our players feel that way. They will state to you, and they have stated to everyone publicly, they are not doing this in any way to be disrespectful to the flag. And they're talking about criminal justice reform, whether it's bail reform, whether it's talking about sentencing, mandatory sentencing. They're talking about changes that I think will make our communities better, that there is bipartisan support for.
Joining us on the phone from New York is sports writer Bill Rhoton, currently writer at large for the undefeated.com. Bill, you heard Goodell there say our fans and the flag and want them to stand. I'm sorry, white fans or all fans?
Well, yeah, I was at the press conference, and you're absolutely right. There's a lot of stuff that was not said. I think that was as important as anything he did. But yeah, it's there's an overwhelmingly white fan base in the stadium. Now that's not a monolith. I'm sure there are independents, there are Democrats, Republicans, neo-Confederates, liberal, whatever. It's a mix of people, but it's a largely overwhelmingly white fan base. The problem, Roland, and that it's an overwhelmingly white fan base, but in the NFL and the NBA, it's an overly black labor force.
Well, actually, Bill, it's overly white fan base sitting in the stadium because the ticket prices are high as hell. Black folks and others are watching, are buying jerseys, are supporting the NFL. So that's one of the reasons why the stadium is so white. Hell, when you got to spend $300 to $400 just to attend a game, that's just not on the list of everybody out there.
Yeah, well, and that's in every sport. I mean, every single sport. But as you mentioned,
right.
Well, that's absolutely true. That you've got a lot of fans, a lot of black fans buying all the other stuff, the jerseys, this and that. But I think the crux of the owner's problem, Roland, is that this is the one industry that we're involved in that your labor force is a largely black, young male labor force, and that's why all this stuff about making them sit, making them stand, firing them, they understand that they can't do that. They cannot do that, and they know the worst thing they could have done yesterday is come out of that meeting and grandstand and said, we're going to force them to kneel. Now, what you heard him say over and over again is that, we prefer you to stand. That we all know that language. Your boss comes to you, hey Roland, you don't have to do this, but we'd rather you do it. Now that's like the gun. There's no gun to your head, but the gun's on the table. So this is fascinating. I've been covering this stuff for more than 40 years, and this is. I mean, there's been Tommy Smith, John Carlos, there's been Ali, those things, but this is the first time that a group of players, and particularly black players, augmented by some of their white teammates, by the way, and I think that's really important. This is the first time you've seen them really begin to coalesce around something that's not a labor issue, per se. This is a social issue, a civil rights issue in sports, and they're saying, hey man, these are our communities, these are our brothers and sisters and cousins and mothers and nieces and sisters who are being harassed by the police, will be brutalized and shot, and we can no longer be quiet. And so the owners are in a pickle. And this is the first time they have actually been in a real pickle.
Absolutely. Bill Rhoton, we certainly appreciate it, man. Thank you so very much.
Okay, Roland. Take care.
I want to quickly go to our panel: Scott Bolden, Deborah Simmons, and Shannon Wright. Deborah, I'll start with you. Here's what's interesting: the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly the San Diego Chargers, when they moved to L.A., several black players talked about when they were trying to get homes, they faced housing discrimination. You've had NFL players been pulled over by cops who, again, for racial profiling. You heard Michael Bennett talk about what he endured in Las Vegas. The NFL owners need to understand that they're flying in their private jets. They're not getting pulled over. These black players have had to endure the very thing they are protesting. The owners may want to pay attention.
Well, they are paying attention. I mean, Goodell is the commissioner of the National Football League, but there would be no National Football League if it weren't for the owners of the 32 leagues that are around the country. They make the money, they own the teams, they decide what's going on. It's not always a big consensus up in New York as to what's going to go on with the National Football League, number one. Number two, I want us to take a step back, and I don't know where Pastor stands on this or not, but when I saw with my own eyes, not through video, but with my own eyes, Colin Kaepernick take a knee, I saw him paying umbrage as he were standing and supporting something, not protesting anything, not fighting against anything. And I can't imagine a Jerry Jones, the Southern Baptist that he is, and the owner of the Dallas Cowboys in that fantastic stadium. Wait a minute. I can't imagine him dropping to his knee to stand in protestation with a bunch of black NFL football players. I ain't going there.
But he did it. He did it for sure.
In protestation, though.
That's true. Standing with his labor force. But these owners own a whole lot, including the team, but they don't own these players. These players aren't slaves, although that could be another debate as far as perception. But here's the other problem the NFL has, Roland, and that is this. The NFL rules say that the players should be on the field for the national anthem, but that they should stand. And so they're just following the bottom line. But it's costing them fans, it's costing them money, it's costing them advertising dollars, and they want to get this behind them as fast as possible. That's why the meetings continue.
Well, guess what, Shannon Wright, 30 seconds left. This is very simple. If a team had actually signed Colin Kaepernick, I would say you probably wouldn't have a lot of these issues. And guess what? That's 32 owners who decided on their own, we're not going to sign him, we're going to punish him. Guess what? They deserve everything they get right now. Go ahead, 30 seconds.
Well, you know what? I agree with what was said over here, that his taking a knee is not so much, I don't see that as disrespect. I see it as his method of choice in expressing his displeasure in what's going on. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of folks do, and a lot of folks have a problem with me for saying that, and I don't really care.
Okay.
He has a right to express what he thinks and what he feels. Now, what needs to happen, in my opinion, is when you do that and you make it clear, what then do you want? Someone needs to be driving that conversation to what the issue is.
Good point.
Well, here's the deal. First of all, before I go to break, first of all, that's happened. He's been clear. He specified it. The players presented Roger Goodell with a 10-page memo outlining this. They've been very clear. Unfortunately, the critics have not. The information is there. We've reported it. That's the answer.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.